everyone, hope you are doing well. Today, on the feast of St. Francis of Assisi, we, the students of Class 11 Humanities, are going to highlight the life and works of St. Francis of Assisi. So let's begin. Who was St. Francis of Assisi? St. Francis of Assisi was born in Italy circa 1181. He was renowned for drinking and partying in his youth. After fighting in a battle between Assisi and Perugia, he was captured and imprisoned for ransom. He spent nearly a year in prison awaiting his father's payment, and according to legend, began receiving visions from God. After his release from prison, he heard the voice of Christ, who told him to repair the Christian church and live a life of poverty. Consequently, he abandoned the life of luxury and became a devotee of the faith, his reputation spreading all over the Christian world. Later in life, Francis reportedly received a vision that left him with stigmata of Christ, marks resembling the wounds Jesus Christ suffered when he was crucified, making Francis the first person to receive such holy wounds. He was canonized as a saint on July 16, 1228. During his life, he also developed a deep love of nature and animals and is known as the patron saint of the environment. His life and words have had a long resonance with millions of followers across the globe. Each October, many animals the world over are blessed on his feast day.
His early life of luxury. Francis was not inborn during his youth. He was spoiled, indulging himself with fine food, wine, and wild celebrations. By age 14, he had left the school and become known as a rebellious teenager who frequently drank, partied, and broke the city curfew. He was also known for his charm and vanity. In his privileged surrounding, Francis of Assisi learned the skills of archery, wrestling, and horsemanship. He was expected to follow his father into the family textile business but was bored by the prospect of life in the cloak trade. Instead of planning a future as a merchant, he began daydreaming of a future as a knight. Knights were medieval action heroes, and if Francis had any ambition, it was to be a war hero like them. It wouldn't be long before the opportunity the war began. In 1202, war broke between Assisi and Perugia, and Francis eagerly took his place with the cavalry. Little did he know at the time his experience with war would change him forever.
Devotion to Christianity. After his epiphany at the Church of Saint Damiano, Francis experienced another defining moment in his life. In order to raise money to rebuild the Christian church, he sold a bolt of cloth from his father's shop, along with his horse. His father became furious upon learning of his son's action and subsequently dragged Francis before the local bishop. The bishop told Francis to return his father's money, to which his reaction was extraordinary. He stripped off his clothes and, along with them, returned the money back to his father, declaring that God was now the only father he recognized. This event is credited as Francis' final conversion, and there is no indication that Francis and his father ever spoke again thereafter. Gave Francis a rough tunic and dressed in these new humble clothes. Francis left Assisi. Unluckily for him, the first people he met on the road were a group of dangerous thieves who beat him badly. Despite his wounds, Francis was elated. From now on, he would live according to the gospel.
Francis and the men of Assisi came under heavy attack, and in the face of superior numbers, they took fight. The whole battlefield was soon covered with bodies of butchered, mutilated men screaming in agony. Most of the surviving SS troops were immediately put to death. Unskilled and with no combat experience, Francis was quickly captured by enemy soldiers, dressed like an aristocrat and wearing expensive new armor. He was considered worthy of a decent ransom, and the soldiers decided to spare his life. He and the other wealthy troop were taken as prisoners, led off to a dank underground cell. Francis would spend nearly a year in such miserable condition, awaiting his father's payment. During his time, he may well have contracted a serious disease also during this time. He would late report he began to service vision from God. Subsequently, Francis, now in his early 20s, began turning his focus toward God. Instead of working, he spent an ever increasing amount of time at a remote mountain hideaways as well as in old, quiet churches around Assisi, praying, looking for answering and helping nurse leopard. During this time, while praying before an old Byzantine crucifix at the church of San Damiano, Francis reportedly heard the voice of Christ who told him to rebuild the Christian church to live a life of extreme poverty. Francis obeyed and devoted himself to Christianity. He began preaching around Assisi and was soon joined 12 loyal followers. Some regarded Francis as a madman or a fool, but others viewed him as one of the greatest examples of how to live the Christian ideal since Jesus Christ himself. Whether he was really touched by God or simply a man misinterpreting brought on by mental illness and or poor health, Francis of Assisi quickly became well known throughout the Christian world.
Saint Francis is not just the patron saint of my house, but a leader who inspires me to care for the environment, to care for everything in creation as a sacred gift from God, to celebrate my relationship with my people as brothers and sisters who are interconnected with one another and of all creation, to receive gratefully, use carefully, and share generously the resources available to me. Thank you.
Francis was not merely at peace with his fellow men, he was at peace with all living things, everything beautiful that his eyes could behold. He wrote hymns of praise to his God for the creations he felt so blessed to behold, and he wrote poems to his brother Sun and sister Moon, even repeatedly praising his sister dead upon his deathbed, as he felt so much at one with creation that he considered the sun his brother, the moon his sister, all men his siblings. Simply put, Francis was a heartfelt ally to everything and everyone around him, from man to beast, from the trees to the stones, from the sun to the moon to the changing seasons. Francis was their kindred spirit. He did not call judgment on mankind for their use of the environment, be it animals for food, trees for shelter, etc. Instead, he simply urged humankind to show respect, humility, and love towards their fellow inhabitants of the earth and surroundings, and likewise, he expected the same from other creation.
Death and legacy. As Francis approached his death, many predicted that he was saint in the making. When his health began to decline more rapidly, Francis went home. Knights were sent from Assisi to guard him and to make sure that no one from the neighboring towns would carry him out. The body of a saint was viewed at that time as an extremely valuable relic that would bring among many things glory to the town where it rested. Francis of Assisi died on October 3, 1226, at the age of 44, in Assisi, Italy. Today, Francis has a lasting presence with millions of followers across the globe. He was canonized as a saint just 2 years after his death. On July 16, 1228, by his former protector, Pope George IX. Today, Saint Francis of Assisi is the patron saint of ecologists, a title honoring his boundless love for animals and nature. In 2013, Cardinal George Mario Bergoglio chose to honor Francis by taking his name, becoming Pope Francis.
Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love.
Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is discord, harmony.
Where there is a doubt, faith. Where there is a despair, hope. Where there is a darkness, light. And
Where there's sorrow, joy. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console.
To be understood as to be understand, to be loved as to love, for it is in giving that we receive.
It is in pardoning that we are pardoned.
And it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. The simple prayer of Saint Francis of Assisi provides for us a mold in which to cast our own life's conduct and character. It provides a blueprint upon which to pattern our living in our thoughts, speech, and actions within our day-to-day relationships with our fellow beings, with all life around us. Therefore, the prayer of Saint Francis is a precious document for us, an indispensable, invaluable frame of reference by which to judge our own lives and referring to which we can do the necessary to bring about the needed alterations and modifications for the upliftment and purification of our daily life. Thank you for watching. Hope you all have a wonderful day.